From Kitchener-Waterloo.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. And to start, I do want to congratulate all of the craft brewers in Ontario who did celebrate their 8th annual Craft Beer Week during the second week of June this year. I am proud to stand today to co-sponsor Bill 107, an act to proclaim Ontario Craft Beer Week, and I'm proud to join the member from Northumberland, Quinte West, and of course Prince Edward Hastings. Today, the craft beer industry can be looked at as a successful business story, with over 130 breweries in Ontario and 40 or more breweries in the works. In my riding of Kitchener-Waterloo, we are honoured to host, of course, the largest Oktoberfest in North America, but our beer story doesn't end there. There are several fantastic breweries in Waterloo region, including 4 great craft breweries in my riding: Innocente Brewing Company, Lion Brewery, Abe Herb, and Waterloo Brewing Company. As well, 12 craft breweries and 1 craft cidery in Waterloo Region and Wellington County have joined together to create a Waterloo Region Craft Ale Trail, which continues 165 years of brewing tradition. According to one local brewer, Mr. Speaker, he says successful community-based brewing is reshaping the brewing landscape in Ontario. One of these community brewers reshaping the brewing landscape is Waterloo Brewing. They belong to the larger Brick Brewing Company. They've been in the business in Kitchener for over 30 years. They employ over 120 people and have invested $20 million in capital in recent years. And so while I am pleased to co-sponsor, I do want to acknowledge that there is still work before us to strengthen and build up the craft brewing industry in the province of Ontario. For instance, Waterloo Brewing growth has been stifled by the rigid small brewer incentive that is currently in place in Ontario. And while retail laws have been liberalized to allow craft beer into more liquor and grocery stores, breweries that want to grow are limited to the ceiling of 50,000 hectolitres a year if they want to benefit from the small brewer incentive. And I'll give you some context, Mr. Speaker. The 50,000 hectolitre limit in Ontario is in stark contrast to the limits set in other provinces. For instance, in Quebec, craft breweries can produce 150,000 hectolitres. Wow. That's 3 times as much as Ontario's craft brewers can produce. In Saskatchewan, craft brewers are able to brew 200,000 hectolitres. Wow. And in Alberta, to qualify as a small brewer, you can produce up to 300,000 hectolitres in a province and 400,000 hectolitres for the global market. And so, Ontario, while it is the largest beer market in the country, representing 1/3 of the volume sold across this country, despite this, Ontario's craft brewers have the lowest ceiling of all major beer markets in this country. For breweries like Waterloo, the ceiling is a clear disincentive for them to grow, and they want to grow. And they are encouraged by this bill that we are going to have Craft Beer Week. But they have still been maintaining their advocacy as craft brewers. Just recently, this past January, Brick Brewing Company presented a deputation before the Standing Committee on Finance and Economic Affairs as part of the pre-budget consultations, and they asked the province to remove the unnecessarily low ceiling placed on brewers in Ontario. In order for these small businesses to succeed, they need to be able to compete with similarly sized breweries across the country, and raising the ceiling of hectolitres would allow these small breweries to grow more proportionally to their capacity. And so, yes, having Craft Beer Week in the province of Ontario and formalizing this is amazing, and I know it's going to be very encouraging for them. Because Ontario's craft breweries are strong examples of small businesses succeeding in our province, but we know and they know that they can do better, and they want to do better. They brew great beer and provide Ontarians with job opportunities. And we also need to remember, Mr. Speaker, that these craft brewers are following their dreams. They are creative people. They are innovative people. And quite honestly, they have amazing relationships with the local farmers, the great Ontario farmers that we have in this province. And so, Ontario Craft Beer Week should not only be a celebration of craft breweries, but a moment to acknowledge the ways that we can improve the incentives for small breweries to grow and thrive. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.